Hello everybody and welcome to week 3 of the PBL. I'm Dave, captain of the Fuchsia City Fearows, and I'll be your commentary for the day. Whoosh, the first ball comes out and I send Stabbo the Aerodactyl. I picked this league because he is fast and he hits hard. And now Nihiligo was my opponent's lead. Not a shocking lead, but not one I prepared for because I'm an idiot. So I just go ahead, I Mega Evolve, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to throw out an Earthquake. And this isn't going to be sashed because I'm a moron. So as you can imagine, hits hard, but it's sashed. And then it does a Power Gem, which should have been disastrous. But for reasons I can only assume are godlike RNG, I survive. And then I throw out a Fire Fang in the off chance he tries to send out like Chestnut or something to tank the Earthquake and keep his Nihiligo alive. But that's the last we see of the jellyfish. Now comes Pinsir. Pinsir is Pinsir, and I forgot it learns Quick Attack, so I make a less than optimal move here. You might in fact call it a dumb sacrifice of a useful Pokemon. But I'm going to call it strategic. Down he goes. So, next I send out Dodrio, Head, and Heady. Not really much to say about this thing. It hits harder than you'd expect and moves faster than you'd expect. And it is a very brave bird. Out comes Manectric, which I've been informed was an unfortunate fat finger. Good crit there. Manectric could have been a problem otherwise. On the ground, that I'm pretty sure Dodrio dies to a small static shock. But the brave birds just keep coming, almost as if there's a choice item on this bird. Down goes Manectric. So, next is Toxapex, who is a constant annoyance to anyone who's played this game. Another brave bird. There wasn't much thought here other than keep smashing Brave Bird. Maybe I'll get another crit. And it does pretty good damage considering the Pokemon involved. He gets down some Toxic Spikes. I suppose I should have been threatened, but I was just having too much fun hitting that Brave Bird button. So, I do another Brave Bird. And it hits equally as okay. There's certainly been lighter hits in this game. Taking it down to the yellow is pretty cool because it's not a Pokemon that learns Recover or anything. And there comes the other layer of Toxic Spikes. Very threatening, those Toxic Spikes. For those of you who don't know, they in fact cause toxic poison when there are 2 layers. So there's a tasty fun fact. And then comes Volcanion, and I've never actually fought this thing. Misgivings about its strange design. Besides, I'm not really sure what weaknesses and resistances it has, but it didn't take that Brave Bird very well. And Head, and Heady goes for one more dramatic dive, we'll say. Very powerful strike. It doesn't kill like I was hoping, and I survive with 1 HP, which matters not at all because the hidden power, I'm guessing Electric hits it. On the grounds that would also hit Aerodactyl, most of my team pretty hard actually. So then I send in Fishwife the Bruxish, and it gets toxic poisoned by said spikes. Now he saves his Volcanion, switches in Chestnut, who takes the Psychic Fangs. I had thought he was going to bring Scizor and or Spiritomb, so I put Dazzling on instead of Strong Jaws, which turned out to be a big mistake. Strong Jaws, this would be a dead Spike Chipmunk. So I throw out a Swords Dance, who knows? Maybe he'll think I'm going to switch, and he throws on a Leech Seed instead. Now, I personally would have just killed the fish, but I'm assuming he was expecting, a switch, and he would have gotten, oh, there, your switch now is seeds. But no, instead my Fishwife gets seeded. Now a lot of statuses have ticked. And shockingly enough, I go for another Psychic Fangs. With the +2, it hurts, but again, it doesn't kill the Ground Sloth. And again, he goes for the Drain Punch instead of just getting a kill. Maybe he didn't have Grass Stab. Probably he did. Maybe he was expecting another switch, but that's not how we play in this household. So everything ticks. You got the... I was a little scared here that the Toxic Poison might kill the fish after the Leech Seed because I wasn't paying attention to how many turns I was mashing Psychic Fang. Turns out it wasn't many. So one more Psychic Fangs, and it's a 1-for-1. I have no issues with that trade whatsoever. Chestnut is pretty annoying. So I send out Big Whoops, the Arcanine, Schwing, and so then comes out Dynastinai, the Mega Pinsir. I was kind of hoping for that. Big Woofs is a tanky woof, and his Intimidate happened, which also gets in Pinsir's way. So he protects here. I'm not sure if he was scouting or if he getting a tick on the Toxic, because the woofs are indeed quite large. So he goes for an Earthquake here, but I was pretty confident my dog could tank it. Yeah, the woofs are huge, in fact. I should have named him Huge Woofs. And the Flare Blitz happens, which is a death sentence for this insect. Very reassuring because he's pretty fast and he hits hard, and Woofs is left with 2 HP, which would have been really cool if I wasn't Toxic Poisoned. So that's the end of this good doggo. So out comes Spike again, which is Toxapex, and I send out Angus, the Manaphy. Gets Toxic Poisoned, and you know, it turns out Toxapex is very specially tanky, and so that was a misstep. I probably should have Tail Glowed there, but I learned a lot about how much damage Psychic does, and Toxapex gets pretty close to full health, and I take my first tick of toxic damage. Well, there's the Tail Glow, and what can I say? My head tail is glowing bright. I get that sweet +3 special attack. Why does Manaphy get Tail Glow? No one can say for certain. Another tick of poison damage, and he's recovered to full health. And now here, if I was thinking, I should have just used my Psychic Z move, but I forgot Volcanion was really low. So I just do a normal Psychic in the hopes that'll kill, and it doesn't. And I get hazed, which I expected, otherwise I would have gone for a second Tail Glow for maximum over damage. Take another Toxic Poison. At this point I'm getting a little nervous, because you see, Toxic Poison hurts a lot. And so we get a repeat of 2 turns ago. The Tail Glows. The Sea Nettle, I believe that's what Toxapex is, recovers. And I get some Black Sludge recovery. I get some more toxic damage. Really starting to pile up here. And at this point I knew, alright, I gotta end this. End this Manaphy. So Manaphy flexes its tail and ends it. It should have done that like 3 turns ago, but whatever. I suppose that's my fault for not hitting that big button with a Z on it. And not really much else to say. Out comes Volcanion, who's quite low, and I decide to be a jerk and use my Z move to end it because it's fancy, and yeah, so there it is. It is surrounding itself with its Z power and unleashes Shattered Psyche. Again, not much to say. Very cute face. It sends it to 5 different dimensions of getting its ass kicked, which was pretty cool. And that's the end of Volcanion, and that's the end of the match. So that leaves me at 2-1, which has me feeling great. And I look forward to next week's match against the Seafoam Island Squirtle Squad. Thanks for watching.